If you're in the middle of a renovation, thinking about redecorating, or indeed at this very moment in time redecorating yourself, and you really want to add a little bit more drama to your home, then I've put 3 colour combination selections together for you to consider. I'm using Farrow Ball colour cards because I love their paints. There are other brands that are chalk based that you could use as well. And if you'd like to see some selections from those brands, just let me know and I'll put some ideas together for you. But whether you've got a big house or a small house, or big rooms or small rooms, there's always space for drama in an interior, I feel. And this is to express who you are. If you're that type of person, you know, your home really is an extension of who you are, how you feel, your personality, and so on. So don't be scared to step outside the realms of normal and to not decorate your house in the same colour as your friend's house or your colleague or family and friend's house. And I'm not talking about going into the realms of neons and I don't know, kind of glittery paints. This is still within kind of a comfortable colour palette, I feel. It just is a little bit more outside of the normal kind of potential comfort zones of most people. Starting with a really quite dramatic combination, which is railings and eating room red. Railings is a very, very dark colour, and I've actually been in a cloakroom before where absolutely every inch of the wall, ceiling, skirting, architrave, you name it, was painted in railings. And maybe that's why I've gone for the eating room red as well, because the two are just sort of dark, deep, chic colours, which you could use, you know, go all out in your cloakroom and create this dramatic space. And imagine, you know, artwork on the walls that would really pop against the darkness of this. So it's really good to consider all of those elements as well later on. Brass fittings would go really nice with this. If this is in, again, a cloakroom, say for example, you've got a window, say it might be a sash window. If you had a really beautiful light coloured voile or a linen at the window with a brass cafe pole, even with the rings or without the rings, with the railings and the eating room red, that could just be so chic. Equally, in a dining room, I do remember a really well-known interior designer once said to me that in your dining room, you've got to consider how other people are going to look against the colour of the walls and everything that's in there. And I thought that was a really, really interesting thing to consider. And I've always kept that with me. And you know, they are right. If you're not bothered about that, then potentially eating room red, as the name suggests, you could still look pretty good and grand in a room painted in eating room red. But what do you do? Do you do bottom railings and the top eating room red, or everything eating room red? And then, I mean, you could do the ceiling in railings. I mean, I love a dark ceiling. I think it's so characterful and kind of erring on the edge of that kind of creative, arty, eccentric kind of vibes. And I love that. The next colour combination, which again, you may not think of immediately, babouche, which is a super cool name in and of itself, and pelt. So yellow and purple are complementary colours. They're opposite each other on the colour spectrum. So they do go well together, but the fact that they are kind of so different is where you can create that drama. I'm thinking maybe this could be for a playroom, or maybe even a bedroom if you're this type of person, or maybe even a library. I'm not talking about definitely doing the whole room in babouche and then picking out bits in pelt, although that is of course an absolute possibility. If you're feeling super brave, you could use the babouche on the ceiling. Equally, you could choose maybe a creamy white for the ceiling as well. Again, this all depends on the room, all depends on you, your lifestyle, how you like to live and how you like to entertain as well. The third combination, and perhaps not too dramatic in terms of the pairing, but potentially quite dramatic if you applied it to your home, is Beverley and Bancher. I love the colour Beverley and actually Bancher as well. And the two together are quite interesting. This is one of those examples where you're not going to an opposite end of a spectrum colour way to pair with it. These are two greens that work beautifully together, and just that offering that contrast, but not like the previous combination where it's a yellow and a purple essentially. This is two greens that work well together but could still be very dramatic. Could be in a hallway, you know, an entrance hallway. I kind of see it with a black and white diamond tiled floor entrance way. I can see plants against, you know, greens on greens and greens, brass against this. What else can I see? Beautiful rugs in that same space as well that may be picking out the green. So just to consider Beverley and Bancher together in a hall, maybe in a bedroom. Green's quite a warm colour, beautiful colour in a bedroom, not forgetting that it will be broken up with bed and furniture and, you know, window dressings and all that other good stuff. So it wouldn't be the whole room you'd be consumed by a green. But if you like a dramatic place to sleep and you're trying to err away from the hues of grey, then these two colour combinations might work for you. Now, of course, those two colour combinations could be equally as good with hues either side of the strength of that colour. So a softer yellow and a softer purple, or softer greens, or softer dark colours and softer reds. I'm not necessarily suggesting that those two are your only options. With all these beautiful brands, there is such an array of colour choices to go for. We really are spoilt for choice. I know that I maybe was stepping into the realms of controversy there, particularly with the yellow and the purple, but it's just something for you to consider if you're just looking for a little bit more drama. And the places that I sort of described that they could go, it's not limited to that. They were just the places that came to mind as I was talking. I've seen hallways, beautiful hallways painted in the eating room red. And if you can imagine, you know, plants, the green of plants against that red as well, looks so dramatic, so beautiful. Like all these things, ultimately, it's about how you feel when you're in your space. You've got to love it, doesn't matter what anybody else thinks, and don't forget to sample to the nth degree. I hope that was helpful, and if you want to see any other colour combinations, just let me know.